All right, here he is.
I don't see like a multitude of colors with one specific song. It's really like just one. So like thinking now, like Sir Duke that's B. It's like B major. So that song is always like it's like a greenish almost. Like like forest, like a forest green. Yeah. And it's always that song is always that color for me.
Let's talk about something you talked about before. You have synesthesia, which means that in general, it means that people relate in their mind, they relate one sense to another. And in your particular case, you relate color to sound. Is that right?
Yes.
So can you explain, like, how does this function for you in your mind, and how does it help you in your music?
So in my mind, and I've had this realizing or looking back, I've had this since I was little. I didn't know it was a thing. I just knew that I saw specific colors with specific notes and keys. So like C major is always yellow. It's always been yellow, and it makes perfect sense in my head. But let's see, like G major is almost like the blue I have on my nails, like a sky, like sky blue. And so as far as with my music, because I think the key of a song absolutely like really sets the mood. And if you change the key, it makes a difference. I mean, you know, you think about modulating upwards with all these power ballads, and that just, that makes all the difference. So, but for me, I think there's certain keys that evoke more of a moodiness, like in a romantic sense. And then I think there's some keys that may paint a picture that might be a little more sad if that's where the lyrics are going. And, you know, there's other keys that are really happy. So again, like C major for me is like a bright, sunny yellow. And that's happy.
What are some of the other colors you see?
So C major is yellow, but C minor is like somewhere between like a pink and purple, almost like fuchsia.
Okay.
D, and that's the other thing, like major and minor, there's different colors too. So like D major is like another bluish, maybe a little darker than sky blue, but then D minor is like orange or like a burnt yellow. I don't see any browns. I don't see, and that's interesting. I don't see brown. I don't see black. I don't see white. I do see a gray sometimes though with E, like E minor. E minor is kind of like gray to me sometimes. So.
And it's consistent.
It's consistent. Yeah.
So if
Never
you're
change.
listening to a song that you made or that somebody else made, and your mind is producing a relationship to the sound as well as this flow of colors?
Yeah. So whatever it is I'm listening to, I'm able to just visualize a specific color in my head, but it's like, I don't dictate that. Like, it's just there. And it makes perfect sense. And this is so weird to talk about. But,
why?
But yeah, whatever it is that I'm hearing, there's always a specific color, and it's always constant. It never varies.
So when I mean, so much of writing is about putting the notes together, right? Like a C minor by itself doesn't mean anything, but when you C minor with the E with the A, like that creates a a moment that touches us or what have you. Um, so do the colors you see impact you as a writer when you're trying to put chords or put notes together?
No, they don't impact me in the process. Because when I'm writing, I'm not thinking about colors or what colors I see. I'm not in that headspace. But once, of course, an idea is finished and then I listen back to it, and then that's when I'm able to see the colors. Um, whichever one it may be. And really it's not, I don't see like a multitude of colors with one specific song. It's really like just one. Um, so like thinking now, like Sir Duke that's B. It's like B major. So that song is always like it's like a greenish almost. Like
Oh.
like forest, like a forest green. Yeah. And it's always that song is always that color for me.
So what color is Voyage to Atlantis?
Um so that's B minor, and that would be so B minor, uh D major. That's like blue, or like yeah, I guess kind of like a deeper ocean blue. And I guess that's fitting for
Mm,
Atlantis. But
right.
yeah.
So is the dominant note that shapes the whole it's not like a rainbow is coming out of me moving around the keyboard.
Right. So it's no rainbow, it's not multiple colors. It's just whatever the song is based in, whatever the key the song is based in. Um, that's that's what dictates the color for me.
It's interesting because I obviously don't have this, but when I do associate a color with a song or an album, it's dictated by the album cover, right? Like,
Mm,
fulfilling this first finale, the cover is like a brown, so I associate those songs with brown, but that's because he told me, think about this in this way, right? It doesn't
mm,
organically come from my mind,
got you.
but you have it, you have it organically.
Yeah, and that's interesting. Like for with Sir Duke, and that's on songs in the Key of Life, and that's like orangish and yellow. I don't see those colors when I hear Sir Duke. Again, like I hear green, like I hear in the Green family. So I don't know, and I don't know how that started with me. Like I don't know how the colors were ever determined. I have no clue, but
Mm.
it makes perfect sense to me.
When did somebody did you tell your mom this and she was like how did I imagine if it happened to me it'd be like, doesn't everybody see this way? Like it's not impeding me where we need to go to the doctor and see why she's not talking. Like, oh, like it's not a problem. This is like a really
Yeah.
nice thing that happens to me. Like I wish everybody saw this way. And at what point did you even realize, oh, you don't see this way? Like, you don't think this way? Like, oh, we need to go to the doctor and talk about like what this means? Because this is a great gift.
Um, I don't really. Well, I remember in high school. So I went to an arts high school, LA County High School for the Arts, and I think it was like like ninth grade. So ninth grade, I found out I had perfect pitch, and in the theory class, the teacher was just asking me to identify certain notes, and then he was like, "Okay, you have perfect pitch," and I was like, "All right, great. So what does that mean?" I didn't know. I didn't know what perfect pitch meant. I was like, "All right, cool." Um, And so I think from there, not too long after that, I started telling my friends, like, I see colors when I hear certain notes. And they took it and ran it into the ground. They would be like, Alex, what color is this? Play a note on a piano. Alex, what color is this song in? I had a friend who she was going to be and sang opera. She was supposed to be in this huge competition and she was going to sing a specific piece. And she was like, Alex, what color is this song in? And I told her. She was like, okay, I'm going to get my dress to match that color. And she got the dress in that color and did her thing, ended up winning. And I mean, just amazing singer. But I'm glad that I was able to help in that way, just kind of paint the picture.
So this is when, I assume, right, your mom caught wind of it and was like, oh, we have to go talk to a doctor about what this is.
No, she, and I don't even know if I've really talked to my mom about it. I think with interviews that I've done and she's watched, I think she's gathered that in that way. But I don't think I've ever really talked about synesthesia with her. But no, she's never had a thought of like.
So when was this diagnosed, or when did you realize, oh, this is the word? Like, other people do this, it's rare, but there are some, and this is the word for that thing.
I think I learned that or about synesthesia in 11th grade. And then I learned that there were certain, I don't know if Albert Einstein, there were certain like scientists and mathematicians who also have synesthesia, like associating numbers with colors, which I think that's interesting. But yeah, I learned like 11th grade, just that it was a thing and what it meant.
Now, let's go back for a second, because a lot of folks who are not in music may not know what is perfect pitch and how does that help you as a singer? What does it mean?
So perfect pitch, in simplest terms, is being able to identify a song, a key or a chord without any additional or any outside sources. So being able to recognize a specific key without, I don't need a piano or any other instrument. And
reproduce it, or just recognize it?
I just recognize it. I just know what it is. And so when I realized that was a thing and that I had it in 9th grade, I think it was used for use, to help out in different situations. So like with concert choir in 9th grade, and we did a few competitions, and there were a few things that we did a cappella. And so without, being too obvious about like, we're doing this a cappella, like, here's the note. So they would ask me to there was one particular song. I hummed it very quietly, and the people next to me would pick up on it and they would like start humming, and then we would all know the note. And then it's like, okay, now we can start. So everything was right. Everything was riding on me. And if God forbid, if I got the note wrong, then we were all off from the jump. It was nerve-wracking, but I was proud to be able to help in that way.
That's amazing.